Hello, in this lecture we'll take a look at a more modern way of calling an API, and that would be using a fetch function, okay? So it is a bit more modern and therefore it is perhaps a bit more tricky. It's not very straightforward, but unlike XML HTTP request, this will allow you to get a return from a method in which it's called, kind of a straightforward, non-asynchronous way of doing it. Okay, so this is very useful, of course, and in this case, as you can see, we first of all have a form data variable. So we have form dt, that's our form data, and I just want to show you, you add a little variable in, so you have form dt dot append your key and your value, all that, and then once we get to the fetch, you see we return the results of the fetch. We return, and the results, that would be the response. Okay, and that would be the response. Now, it does contain a few things. So first of all, it is your URL. Okay, so whatever your API is, whatever your route is, and whatever perhaps your query string is, query parameters are. That is the first basically argument of this function. And then after that, we have this little object going. First of all, we have the credentials. So you don't have to put in this one. Okay, but we do have it, and in this case it's omit. Omit is by default. We don't use credentials usually. If you do, you can include. It would be a bit different. And the second one is the method, so that would be post, get, put, whatever one you want. And then after that is the most important thing, and that is the body. Obviously, if you have a GET request, you don't need the body, you can skip that part, but if you do, you can have form data, you can also have application JSON as well, so you would simply provide a JSON string, and then we get to the headers, okay, we get to the headers. We have headers, then new headers, and we add the headers, and then if you have a content type, application JSON, that is very important. If you have that, you should actually do content type, application JSON. Basically add that content type header for the application JSON type. Okay, so these are the contents. And then what happens? As you can see, we even have then keyword, then function, kind of going out, sort of an extension function from this fetch. Okay, it goes out, and what happens? We take the response from the request, and we take the text from it. We take the text from it, and also this is a nice, neat trick that it does. Basically, if there is a catch, that would be an exception, right? If there is that exception, there is that error, it will log to the console. It will log the error to the console, so you don't need to wrap it in another try and catch block. So this takes your URL, takes your parameters, and then returns the result as text. Okay, so this is how it works. This is a more modern approach, and you will probably use this one. Okay, it's more straightforward in a way. You don't need to worry about any kind of an asynchronous stuff. It is these days a lot better. And with that, we will conclude this lecture.